Hey guys and girls, I'm Link123 and welcome to my top 5 favorite Zelda games. There's no doubt about my channel is about Zelda gaming and a bit more Zelda gaming. But in today's video I'm going to pick 5 of my favorites in the franchise, and it's gonna be really hard because I do love all of the games in their own way, because I really think all of these games is very different from each other, like a bit at least. But in today's video I'm going to take my top 5 ones, and it doesn't matter if it's a related title like Triforce Heroes or Hyrule Warriors or something like that, or if it's an official title like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for example. So big decisions gonna be made here. It's gonna be really hard, but I guess I will be doing this really clear to all of you guys and girls. So let's start with the first one. Number 5. The first one that we start out with is Link's Crossbow Training. Yeah, that's right, and that's going to be the related title to the franchise. A lot of you guys and girls out there seems to be hating on this game. I don't know why, but I had a lot of great hours with this game, really. I played it once and then I felt like, no, I don't really like this because it's fucking hard to score a great score to get gold or something. But when you have been playing the game for some hours and you learn how the game works actually, and then you start out getting the Triforce piece that basically just doubles your score or something like that. So I guess this game really brings some good hours to your gaming nights with your friends or something like that. You can even play 2-player, I guess it's just is, not more than 2 at least, but that was also pretty fun. It's not the same time, so you need to play one and then shoot your targets, and then you need to switch to your friends. So that's a pretty bad function, but I really guess this game is it's slightly great for the price. Actually, I got it for really cheap because I found it for sale in GameStop or something like that. This game is basically themed on the Twilight Princess engine. It got the same enemies, it got the same areas and stuff like that. And I really do like that because it's not just a Zelda related or inspired title. It's actually a real Zelda game with targets, and you got Link looking like the one in Twilight Princess, and he even got a crossbow. It could be pretty cool to have the crossbow in the actual Twilight Princess, but no, it didn't turn out that. But I really guess this game got some great functions, and you got some different areas to run around with, and you got some different areas that actually changes the game. Sometimes you need to stay in a boat and you can't move. Other times you need to switch from area to area, and then it's just a camera that basically steers where you need to shoot. And other times you actually have some free play where you can run around in a specific area and you need to shoot these different targets. And I really do like that, because then it's not getting, you don't get the feeling like you do the same over and over again, and that's pretty nice. So if you haven't been playing Link's Crossbow Training, you really need to start doing that. Really. Number 4. Majora's Mask is the creepiest title of them all due to a scary ass moon. We got a Skull Kid that got his hands in the Majora's Mask and turned into an evil motherfucking boss at the end, and I could name millions of things that turns out to be scary in Majora's Mask. But I really do like this title because it got a whole nother way of making you feel you're playing the game than Ocarina of Time did, for example. The game is made on the same engine as Ocarina of Time, but if you're playing Ocarina of Time and switching over to Majora's Mask, it doesn't feel like you're playing another game just with the same textures and stuff like that. It basically feels like a whole another game because it's more dark, and also the different areas that you are visiting in the game is much more different than it's made in Ocarina of Time. For example, if you're visiting Clock Town, which is basically the market town, if we can say that, if in comparison to Ocarina of Time, you will actually be seeing a lot of different colors that turns out to be pretty nice, at least in my opinion, because I like colors. And If you're visiting the Sora Hall, for example, you will also see a lot of different colors, actually like a rainbow, instead of just a cave like in Sora's domain in Ocarina of Time. And I really do like that, because it gives you a feeling about you're visiting some different cities of the different areas, instead of just, oh, there's a cave, okay, that's the Sora domain. It doesn't matter, but I like the colors and I like the different ways that each area is made of. And that's some of the things that I really do like with Majora's Mask. For sure, there's also some scary things in Majora's Mask. For example, the music that really scared me, because it got a whole nother mood and a whole other feeling than in Ocarina of Time. It's not so happy, but at the same time we also got some really happy tunes. For example, the Stone Tower Temple music that I basically can't get out of my head, even after so many years. I played the game when it came out first in 2000, and I can't forget that tune. I could say many more tunes that appears around in Ocarina of Time, and also Majora's Mask that you can't forget. But in Majora's Mask, the music and the soundtrack at all actually made some really good impressions to me. And that's the reason why Majora's Mask is on the 4th place. Number 3. Ocarina of Time, the good old classical N64 game that is loved by so many people out there, including me and my mother. Is that weird? Well, I'm not going to talk about the N64 version today, because I guess it's a bit overused in top 5 or top 10 videos. So I'm taking the 3DS version to the top 5 today, because when I was playing this game, it really gave me some new feelings and it gave me a new look at Ocarina of Time. There's no doubt about I love the good old classic N64 game, because it's the only game I'm uploading to the channel here. But the 3DS version was a new kind of way playing Ocarina of Time. I know we have been playing with high definition texture packs for the good old N64 version on emulators. Well, but on the 3DS version, the original textures was remastered. It was a whole nother resolution too, and it was also just another way playing the game, because we got gossip stones around Hyrule Field, and they was actually allowing us to get hints if you was stuck in the game. I never went stuck, because I have been playing the game a bit too much, if I can say it like that. But it's a pretty good use for new players to the game, and I really do like that. And also the items was much easier to change around. Like, you used the lower screen on the 3DS, so you could just like put it on the different buttons, and it was really easy to use. So you don't need to switch from normal Kokiri boots to iron boots in the start menu every time in the water temple like you should in the original one. So that was one of the better things with the 3DS version. Another good thing with this version was also that it allowed you to play the Master Quest version. I know this Master Quest version was also released for the GameCube version back in the time, but I really do like playing the Master Quest version with harder enemies, and also the reversed world, actually both dungeons and also overworld. It was really cool playing this, and it was just a whole nother way playing it, because you also got the remade textures and you got the better resolution and blah blah blah. So it doesn't look like the original one, and you were stuck at the GameCube Master Quest. So you also got the Master Quest on this version. So it's clear for me to put the 3DS version of Ocarina of Time on the 3rd place of this top 5. Let's go to the next one. Number 2. At the 2nd place we got The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword for the original Wii. Back in the time before this game came out, it looked so epic, and I was watching gameplay videos on IGN, and I was watching interviews with Miyamoto, and the trailers looked epic, and you could fly in the game, and you was getting great items, and whoa, it looked so cool. So the Christmas after the release, I got the game for sure, and I was digging into the Wii, and I was happy with that. So after a month playing, I really felt like it was too hard for me, and I'm used with Zelda games and also a lot of different Zelda games, but this game never touched my heart because it was just really hard. 1 month into playing it, and I couldn't even make it to the first dungeon. Sad. Well, this was a total meltdown for me, and I was putting the game back on the shelf and I wouldn't even touch it. So some few years after this, I took it up once again with my friend Emil, and it took us like a whole summer to play through the game, and we had a great time with the game. It really touched my heart the second time I was playing it, because first of all, the soundtrack was really epic and it was really different from area to area. For example, when you was flying, it was this big orchestra, motivating, epical sound you got, because it was just nice to fly around in skies and stuff like that. It was cool. And then if you land in, for example, Elden Volcano, it was more dark and more heavy sounding music. And if you was in Farron Woods, it was more light and happy kind of music that was running in the background, and it was just perfect. Really, that music and that music score was really touching my heart, really. Now to the other functions in the game, because it's not just music. The Wii Motion Plus function in the game that allows you to get precisely movement with your sword because of the specific Wii remote here really touched my heart too, because it was a great function to put in the game, especially when it's a fighting game. You could really use some cool actions with your Wii remote. It looks pretty fun, because Link actually did what you did with the Wii remote and it was, for example, his sword. So it could look pretty cool, but it was also pretty different, and I really like that. It's a cool new way to play a game, right? And also the items was really different from the other games. You got this beetle that you could fly with and see some new different things in a whole nother perspective, and I really did like that. And also, once again, the different areas was really well looking and also very different. And I really do like that. For example, we got this sand desert place where you need to turn back in time. So it was, when the specific area was like turned back in time, you got grass and stuff like that. So it was really kind of actually a kind of forest, and you could use some different things there, and then you could turn back in time another place, and whoa, it was a really gigantic place, and it was really nice to play a Zelda game that had a lot of new functions in the whole game, right? So it was pretty hard, but it was also really great the second time I was playing this. It really deserves a second place, really. Number 1. The first place goes to a game that stands out from the other ones in the franchise. It's a game that keeps being entertaining every time you play the game. It's a game that just by itself keeps being the perfect Zelda game. No doubt. The first place goes to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for the original Wii. Also sent out to the GameCube version, but we are going to talk about the Wii version here because it's the only version that I have been playing before. Well, Twilight Princess is my perfect example of a good Zelda game, because this game got, first of all, most of all, the perfect soundtrack of all time. We got so many different songs. We got a different boss tune for every boss in the game. Pretty cool. We got a lot of nice music running in the background at beautiful areas, really. Farron Woods. We got a gigantic Hyrule field. We got a really nice, different looking Kakariko village. We got a pretty sweet, cute looking village called Autumn Village, which is the start village of the game. And then we got the Twilight Realm, which is creepy and dark looking. But still we got a temple in there, so we need to visit that place too. We got a lot of different enemies appearing around the whole Hyrule, and it looks so much cooler with this dark Twilight Realm running in the background, because sometimes you might run into different type of enemies but with the same model, because they're just turned into a Twilight version of themselves. And this is so cool because it gives the game a scary type of feeling, but still we also got a normal Zelda game running in the background, so you can see the two different places at the same place. For example, we also got two different versions of Link. We got a wolf Link and we got the normal looking Link with the green tonic, for example. We got a lot of dungeons running here. We got a snow, we got a wind, we got a twilight, we got a forest, water, ice, and a temple of time there. So, whoa man, it's 8 temples, or 7, I don't know. And we got a huge Hyrule castle that actually is the final dungeon. So, what can I complain about? It's a perfect story and everything is really great. There's no Wii Motion Plus in this game, so it's pre-programmed sword swings and stuff like that, but you don't need to complain about that because it's just a game. It's a little function that are missing here. And also the navigator of the game, it's not a ball with wings like Navi, it's Midna, which seems to be, in my eyes, a bit hotter version of Navi, and she's not that frustrating, and at least she's not saying hello all the time. So what can I complain about? The best thing is now solved, no Navi in this game. At least you got the pointer of the Wii remote actually looking like the Navi from Ocarina of Time. That's pretty cool, but also pretty frustrating. And the different areas in the game is just perfectly looking, especially if you're playing on an emulator with a high resolution on. It really looks beautiful. Really, I can't complain about that too. So make sure to play Twilight Princess for the Wii or the Wii U, which is a remake of the original one, if you haven't done that. So yeah, it's clearly a first place of this top 5.